Florida yanks $2 billion from woke Blackrock over social engineering project. So Florida said Thursday it has begun to divest $2 billion in funds overseen by BlackRock, a sharp rebuke of the giant asset manager's investing policies under CEO Larry Fink, that right-leaning critics have blasted as woke capitalism. The divestment under Governor Ron DeSantis, the largest of its kind by an individual state, is the latest sign of mounting unrest among Republican policymakers over so-called ESG, or environmental, social, and corporate governance practices. Florida's chief financial officer, Jimmy Patronis, accused BlackRock of attempting to use their power to influence societal outcomes. Using our cash, however, to fund BlackRock's social engineering project isn't something Florida ever signed up for, Patronis said. It's got nothing to do with maximizing returns and is the opposite of what an asset manager is paid to do. Florida's Treasury Division is divesting from BlackRock because they have openly stated they've got other goals than producing returns, he added. Florida's state treasury has removed BlackRock as manager of roughly $600 million in short-term investments and have its custody bank freeze about $1.43 billion in long-term securities. The decision was first reported by Reuters. Florida joined other Republican-led states, including Louisiana and Missouri, who have pulled state funds from BlackRock's control in response to concerns about ESG. In a statement, BlackRock said that it was surprised by Florida's decision to divest. As a fiduciary, everything we do is with the sole goal of driving returns for our clients. We are surprised by the Florida CFO's decision given the strong returns BlackRock has delivered to Florida taxpayers over the last 5 years, the company said. Well, the thing is, what people need to understand, companies like BlackRock, like those type of financial companies, the way that they really get paid a lot of money is through management fees. So let's say that they're managing $2 billion. They might be getting paid a management fee of 2% of that $2 billion every single year, regardless of the amount of return that they actually get. So even in a down year, they're still going to get that 2%. So neither the CFO nor his staff have raised any performance concerns. We are disturbed by the emerging trend of political initiatives like this that sacrifice access to high-quality investments and thereby jeopardize returns, which will ultimately hurt Florida citizens. Fiduciaries should always value performance over politics, the company added. In August, DeSantis, a frequent critic of so-called woke corporations, revealed that state pension funds could no longer consider ESG standards when making investments for retirees. Florida's three-member State Board of Administration, which is chaired by DeSantis, passed a resolution requiring fund managers to make use of state resources in a way that prioritizes the highest return on investment while bypassing the ideological agenda of ESG. Corporate power has increasingly been utilized to impose an ideological agenda on the American people through the perversion of financial investment priorities under the euphemistic banners of environmental, social, and corporate governance and diversity, inclusion, and equity, DeSantis said in a statement at the time. Fink has drawn scrutiny from Republican lawmakers due to his public embrace of stakeholder capitalism as an investment strategy. The BlackRock boss defended his stance in an open letter to investors last January, declaring that stakeholder capitalism is not about politics. It is not a social or ideological agenda. It is not woke, Fink wrote in the letter. It is capitalism driven by mutually beneficial relationships between you and the employees, customers, suppliers, and communities your company relies on to prosper. This is the power of capitalism. Now, here's the thing. One, personally, I don't trust BlackRock at all. I don't really trust any of these mega massive financial institutions because, the thing is, I respect financial advisors if they're willing to basically take, a payment up front to teach you for a few hours about investments. I really don't like that these hedge funds, these financial corporations take like a percentage fee of your returns for practically doing nothing, right? Now, obviously, they do a lot of research, they try to find the best investments, all that kind of stuff, right? But the thing is, some of these financial institutions quite literally will put pension money into something as stupid as FTX, which, guess what? In Canada, that's what happened. Pension funds were put into FTX. So, people need to be really like careful when you allow other people to manage your money. Because if you're not okay with what they're putting your money into, then you need to do something about it, right? If you do not understand what they are putting your money into, then you need to do something about it, right? Because here's the reality, right? And this is a factual reality of life. No one will care more about your money than you. And these big financial companies only care about you potentially not losing money so that you can stay on with them for a long time so that they can skim 2% off of your investment portfolio for the rest of your life, right? Because here's the thing, on average, like you could probably make about like an 8, maybe 9% return potentially, right? If you were to also like reinvest the dividends back into it per year by just investing into like an index fund like S&P 500, right? Or something similar to that matter. Like you could literally just invest into the stock market as a whole and you will probably end up beating the majority of hedge funds without paying them a potentially 2% fee every single year on your balance, right? Like, people just need to be really careful when you allow other people to manage your money, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with getting advice from financial advisors, but here's the thing. Let's say if I personally had like $10 million, right? What I would do, I would go and sit down every year with a financial advisor, probably pay them like a grand for like an hour of their time, right? So that they can give me suggestions, they can teach me more about something that I want to learn about in terms of like investing in a specific sector or something, and then that's it. I would not be willing to give anyone a percentage of my total portfolio, period. Right? Like people need to be really careful about that. It's like we're talking like depending on how much money you actually have that you put in there. Now this is of course like, Florida's funds and whatnot. But like, let's just say that you saved up, retired, invested, whatever, and you got like $2 million in investments. That's still a lot of money that you're giving to a financial advisor or financial firm every single year. Like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars just to manage it, right? It's absolutely crazy. By the way, if you want to learn how to get out of debt, go down below.